And Tommy Sugru, having already refereed 2 All-Ireland finals in 1988 and 1992, taking charge of this second Bank of Ireland Football Championship semi-final match. And Vinnie Murphy has gone onto the 40, by the way, being picked up by Declan Darcy. So here it is, the first ever championship meeting of Leitrim and Dublin. Straight away, there's a free kick to Leitrim. Paul Kieran shaping up like he'll be the one to take it, having been fouled. Good deep ball in towards Colin McGlynn. Dermot Deasy happily recovered from the injury that forced him out of the Leinster final. Keith Barr. Jack Sheedy. Jersey was tugged momentarily. Gets away from Paul Kieran. Showing great pace. Nicely forward towards Desi Farrell. Farrell turning, looking. But that's the first wide of the match. It was a chance for this versatile sportsman. He's also a very good hurler and hockey player.
I suppose the changes that Dublin have made have been due to the circumstances of the Leinster final. Jack Sheedy really hasn't been a success in the forward line, and bringing him out to midfield is probably the best place for him, where he can run more with the ball.
It's probably his best position. Now Keith Barr, what kind of influence will he be exerting today? And that's where George Dugdale will have a very important role. Jerry Flanagan taking this ball forward for Leitrim. Huge roar from the Leitrim following. Cut out here, however, by Paul Clark. Providing the ammunition inside towards McGalvin. Ball one. Donoghue taking it away for the para-champions. Held back there.
That was great play by Seamus Quinn there. He dived in very bravely to win that breaking ball.
Dermot Deasy struggling to hold on to it. Challenged by Colin McGlynn. Toe poked away by Paddy Moore towards Brian Steins in midfield. Now it's Niall Guyden. To get away from Noel Moore. Inside to Vinnie Murphy. He's got a man outside him. Pat Gilroy going for the score himself, Vinnie. And just to the left is Dublin with a second wide from 2 attacks. They're the happier. Leitrim were expecting an avalanche of early attacks to come from Dublin. We're hoping to profit with better shooting than that. Martin McHugh's kick out. Once again, it's McDeegan now, the left half back, chased by Mickey Quinn. Deegan holding it up nicely for Jack Sheedy to get onto, and finishing is not the strongest part of his game, and from 3 attacks, Dublin have looked the more nervous.
Dublin would really love to bury Leitrim in the first 10 minutes with an avalanche of scores, and they've missed 3 very good chances, so I suppose from Leitrim point of view it's been quite a good start.
Leitrim now will have to try and win a bit more ball as it's broken down in midfield, and once again it's a Dublin player, Keith Barr, responding quickly into McGalvin, and that's blocked down very well there by Seamus Quinn. 45 is the outcome. No relation of the more illustrious bearer of the Quinn surname in the team, Mickey Quinn.
Good ball in there to Mick Galvin, and Seamus Quinn now a very agile, very good full back, makes a great dive and block.
He'll be gaining in confidence, still in under 21. Well, Leitrim know all about conceding frees from distances of 45 metres or inside to a player of Charlie Redmond. Out of Dublin's tally of 3 goals and 49 points so far, Charlie's got a whopping half of that, 320. Going around the corner in familiar fashion. This to try and kick Dublin in front for the first time. A 45 from Charlie Redmond, breaking the deadlock. And that after 4 minutes. Well, they'll be a bit happier up there now.
I'd say if that ball had to be on the Dublin side, John O'Leary would have stopped it going over the bar. That's one of the advantages that he has over Martin McHugh. Martin McHugh is quite small, and that ball would have been caught by a bigger goalkeeper.
This time across between Paul Kieran and Jack Sheedy, who seemed to nudge the Leitrim player, who recovers well. A chance to launch Leitrim's first attack in earnest. Dermot Deasy again cutting it out. Colin McGlynn fouling him. Dublin get the free out. John O'Leary, the team captain from O'Dwyer's in Balbriggan, playing in his 59th championship match today. Aimed towards Vinnie Murphy, runs on. Jerry Flanagan going back to recover, trying to link up here with Fergal Reynolds, who's switched corners. Joe Honeyman. Seamus Quinn trying to wrestle his way out there, stopped by Dessie Farrell. Nice ball inside to Darcy. He's been such an accomplished centre-half back all season. Dublin born, of course, and it's Niall Guyden, and now Dublin hunting in packs, leading by just a point. Doing as we expected, to leave a firm imprint early on in this match. Dessie Farrell kicking in hopefully. Martin McHugh will have to come out and attack this one, and instead it was Mick Galvin who was coming in. He got the last touch, it seems.
The Leitrim backs there played themselves into trouble, and Declan Darcy got the mother and father of a shoulder from Charlie Redmond. Martin McHugh probably should have came to meet that ball a lot earlier, and Mick Galvin, if he had to be a little quicker, would have got in the net.
Brian Steins jumping with Pat Donoghue. As Colm anticipated before the match, Donoghue has been given the task of marking Brian Steins. Quickly downfield towards Liam Conlon. First time he's on the ball. He's got a lot of pace. He's one of those players from Leitrim who's played here before in Garden representative matches. Nicely down to Noel Moran. Chance of a score, and Leitrim have scored, and they're level. What a great run that by Noel Moran. And to judge by the reaction of the fans, you'd swear they'd won the match. Only 6.5 minutes gone. Good overlapping run by Moran.
You'd never guess that Leitrim are after scoring by the noise here, but brilliant overlapping run by Noel Moran. And I think probably the first point that a Leitrim player has ever scored in a championship match in Croke Park. So Noel Moran has made his own bit of history.
Absolutely.
Jerry Flanagan trying to ensure that Pat Gilroy doesn't get a run for these kickouts from Dublin.
Instead, the run is made by Brian Steins. Went unchallenged as well. Now to Jack Sheedy. They've been enjoying dominance so far. Straight at Jerry Flanagan, however. Poor distribution. And a chance now for Jerry to set something up. Aided and abetted by the point scorer, Noel Moran. Acknowledging his mistake. Plays with Alan Gales in Drumshambo.
Jerry Flanagan should be getting rid of that ball a bit quicker, not trying to charge out with it.
He's gone back in his general direction again. And the taller Pat Gilroy making some headway. Supported by Dessie Farrell, who's come very deep, leaving some gaps inside. Nicely in towards Charlie Redmond, contained it well. McGalvin's run ahead of him. It's on towards Galvin, goal-scoring chance. And straight at the goalkeeper. Good positioning by Martin McHugh. But Galvin will appreciate that he could have buried it. That's a good save, but it was straight at him.
Well, Dublin could have got a goal there, and Dublin are or Leitrim now are surviving just by the skin of their teeth. Mick Galvin getting in and Martin McHugh doing well, but shouldn't have put his clearance back out into the Cusack stand.
So Charlie Redmond, Dublin's only scorer so far from a 45. Is it curling sufficiently? Going towards the right. Kept in play by Pat Gilroy. Brian Steins in there, denied by Declan Darcy. And it's young Seamus Quinn emerging with the ball. Belting it down towards Liam Conlon. Kieran Walsh is marking him this afternoon. Kieran fouls. Driven in very quickly. Nice ball. Rooney. And Leitrim are in front. Aidan Rooney, the point scorer from Glencar, Hamilton. Leitrim lead. Only 9 minutes into the first half. And how they've arrived. Kieran Walsh having his name taken. Kieran, one of the stars for Dublin in the championship so far.
Well, Dublin have had 2 goal chances and about 6 points, and they have only 1 point. Leitrim with 2 chances and 2 points. Lovely play by the Leitrim forwards to make room for Aidan Rooney, and a great point from play.
The confidence will be high, but the challenge coming from Dublin. Vinnie Murphy picking up this run by Jack Sheedy. Murphy's there in assistance. Here he is, steaming in. Great shoulder by Seamus Quinn. Jerry Flanagan trying to knock it out. Supported here by Fergal Reynolds. Out it comes towards Paul Kieran for Leitrim. And in front of the goal there was a little bit of shenanigans going on. It's all stopped now, thankfully. And Paul Kieran has won the free.
Brilliantly timed shoulder by Seamus Quinn, because again it looked like another goal chance.
Bad ball played into space, nobody there but Brian Steins. Now Paddy Moran. Bit of work for Keith Barr to do. And between Barr and Gilroy they fumble, and that's enough to let Conlon in, who is then taken to ground by Jack Sheedy. And Jack Sheedy has been called across by Tommy Sugrue, who's laying the look down the low early on. So 2 names recorded so far. Well, Declan Darcy's come up to take this one. He's kicked some priceless points in the Connacht Championship to rescue Leitrim on a couple of occasions. This is well within his range. Breeze just about supporting him, and he's got it! And Leitrim lead by 2 points. The Ahawullen man from one of the smallest parishes in Leitrim. And they've got 3 players on this Leitrim team. And they're dancing for joy down at the canal end. And that's the reason why. 3 points to 1. What a kick. Well, there were those who were worried that the occasion might get to them and nerves might be a major factor. Instead, the pressure is more on the Dubs, if anything, because they're expected to win this. Paul Clark. And it's once again the fullback, Seamus Quinn. And the mighty Quinn from Gartlettra picking up Pádraig Kenny. Again, the ball delivered deep in there. Well watched the whole time by Kieran Walsh. Brian Steins. Back it goes to Paul Clark. Dublin rocked just a little by the succession of scores by Leitrim, who've been deadly accurate in every one of their attacks. Noel Moran. And the referee has whistled across there. This time the referee pointing the finger there at Joe Honeyman. Dublin get the free kick. Desi being marked by Fergal Reynolds. Charlie Redmond will be the hitter just outside the 45-metre line. Just a gentle breeze here at Croke Park today, and it's blowing in towards the Nally stand corner. The jeering from the Leitrim fans just to try and unsettle Charlie. He's been through all of this so many times before. One of the best in the business. And just as we say it, he puts it to the left. And that's Dublin's 5th wide. Leitrim without a wide so far, and they lead by 3 points to 1. John O'Mahony, who of course took this side straight through to the All-Ireland Semi-Final, following his great success with Mayo back in 1989, getting them through to the final, one of the best finals ever. Nicely down by Pat Donoghue. Dublin players there in numbers. Kieran Walsh picking out Mick Deegan. Challenged late by Mickey Quinn, who really didn't get in a decent tackle on him. And it's with Vinnie Murphy. Murphy trying to toy with Declan Darcy, angling for the shot, trying to bridge the gap, and he's done so, and there's just a point in it. Vinnie Murphy's so much better when he's playing in a central position, trying to rally the troops now. It was always on that he'd play somewhere around the 40.
Great point by Vinnie Murphy there, and a great ball played up right along the line by Mick Deegan from his half-back position as well.
Pat Donoghue jumping with Brian Steins. Again, broken ball, this time picked up by the other Leitrim midfielder, Paul Kieran, whipped away by Paul Clark. Comes off the legs of Declan Darcy, and Paul Kieran's waiting for it. Things going well for Leitrim just now. Needed to get rid of the ball quickly. Pat Donoghue. Blocked down brilliantly by Pat Gilroy. Brian Stein's in smartly. And that's going to be a free to Dublin. Keith Barr taking it. Comes off Pat Donoghue. Reaches now guided to Jack Sheedy. Nobody marking him. Chance of the equaliser. Into Charlie Redmond. Again Charlie. Does he overhold? Back as far as Desi Farrell. Back to Charlie Redmond again. And it's a goal! Dublin sweep into the lead. Delighted fans on Hill 16. Charlie very definitely the goal king. His 4th goal of the championship. First this afternoon, and Dublin lead by 2.
Well, Jack Sheedy originally shooting for a point, drop short. Charlie under a lot of pressure sort of throws the ball out. Desi Farrell gets it back in, and when Charlie gets it there, he really sticks it in the corner. That goal, of course, could have came about 5 minutes earlier. Dublin had plenty of goal chances.
Mickey Quinn down to Colin McGlynn. Looking for an instant riposte now, Leitrim. Pádraig Kenny just ahead of him. McGlynn kicking. And the reaction on Hill 16 says it all. Leitrim's first wide of this match. Kick-out's taken very quickly. McTeagan now popping up on the right-hand side. Leitrim just needing to keep their shape in these anxious moments now. Niall Guyden. Back it goes to Jack Sheedy again. Great burst of energy from midfield. And this time the referee whistle says you take too many steps. "17 minutes gone of the first half, and a very open game of football." Declan Darcy down towards Colin McGlynn, fisted away by Dermot Deasy. Paul Clark. The follow-up there by Pat Donoghue. Liam Conlon just ahead of him. Just trying to see what's inside. A good run by Colin McGlynn inside. And Aidan Rooney was the last one to touch it, but there was a jersey being tugged back and it wouldn't have counted. McGlynn left that one for the number 13.
The ball played right across, a good ball, but fouling inside by Colin McGlynn, and referee quite right in giving a free out.
Mickey Quinn has now been moved into midfield in a switch with Paul Kieran. Desi Farrell showing nice footwork on the ground. Locating Pat Gilroy, and Dublin get the free in.
It looked very much like Pat Gilroy picked it off the ground. Leitrim making that change, bringing Mickey Quinn out. Jack Sheedy had been getting a lot of ball there and running at the Leitrim defence, so Mickey Quinn will want to lie back and defend.
So some defending for Leitrim to do from this free kick now by Charlie Redmond. Dublin leading by 2 points. And again, Charlie struggling to find the range, but Vinnie Murphy keeps it in play and fists the point. His second point of the match. Well, he's certainly very happy with himself. Dublin leading by double scores.
It's fairly obvious Vinnie Murphy doesn't need any motivation today, because he probably knows Dublin win, and he puts in a good performance. He'll be on from the start for the final.
Got Donoghue trying to gain parity in there with Brian Steins. That'll be a throw ball. Sugro opting to throw it between Jack Sheedy there and Paul Kieran. Comes back to Pat Donoghue. Rolled outside towards Aidan Rooney. Can't contain it. Instead it's Noel Moran got that first point for Leitrim in this match. Now Pádraig Kenny trying to be more of a factor on the half-forward line. Lovely skill. Great run this. But it doesn't quite curl sufficiently. Very promising build-up and some debate in there. Pádraig not entirely happy. Paul Kieran, very fine fetch, lovely catch. holding it up nicely. Spotting the run by Colin McGlynn out here, making an angle for himself, going by well, skipping past Kieran Walsh, inside nicely, taken back. There's a goal here, and it's stopped by Dermot Deasy. Comes back to Liam Conlon, and that's wide. There was a goal there for the taking, just a moment earlier.
Well, Colin McGlynn does very well, and George Dugdale does the right thing. It's a half a yard behind him, but Colin McGlynn a little bit slow in getting in his shot. And then, well, Liam Conlon should have punched it over the bar.
All of a sudden now Leitrim have 3 wides to go with the 3 points that they've scored as well. Paul Clark has picked up a thumb injury. Good deep ball from John O'Leary, gathered by Jerry Flanagan, trying to make some headway. Leitrim get the free kick. Towards Colin McGlynn. McGlynn against Kieran Walsh. Liam Conlon effectively has been marked by Dermot Deasy. Here's McGlynn. Just sold it a bit short there to George Dugdale. And now it comes as far as Jack Sheedy. Kicked into space. Declan Darcy going across. Very athletic type of wing back and centre half back. Jerry Flanagan. Well, he ran straight in to Jack Sheedy. Took too many steps into the bargain, and it's going to be a Dublin free kick.
Well, that's been coming to Jerry Flanagan now. He's had 3 or 4 balls and charged out with them, and Declan Darcy does very well. He should have let that ball off there to Pádraig Kenny or some of the other Leitrim players running inside. There's no need to take on his man like that.
Keith Barr, great dead ball kicker inside towards Eddie Murphy. Gathered inside, however, by Seamus Quinn again. Taking almost everything in there. George Dugdale now, ostensibly playing on the 40. Perhaps if he starts to wander, the idea is to take Keith Barr out of position as much as possible. Brian Stein then towards Vinnie Murphy, lovely catch. Declan Darcy finding Vinnie very difficult to contain this afternoon. Player who might well have played for Dublin. His father Frank, of course, is part of the backroom team, had been training the Dublin-based Leitrim players. A mix of colours and a mix of emotions there. Well within Charlie Redmond's range, this kick. Dublin who lead by 3 points. He's missed a couple so far, but he gets this one, and that's a goal and 2 points now for Charlie Redmond. And is this the stage in the game where Dublin assume control?
Leitrim had a good 5-minute spell there and we got 3 wides for it, so I suppose if they had to be able to get a few points, but Dublin are beginning to get on top in a lot of positions around the field, and I suppose the most worrying thing from a Leitrim point of view is the fact that Vinnie Murphy is having the better of Declan Darcy at centre half forward there.
Here is Vinnie once again, roaming around the field, and Declan likes to stay back, mind the house, where he's such a good reader of the game, the ball almost seems to find him. Brian Stein's finding Pat Gilroy. Nicely forward towards Desi Farrell, yet to score in this match, had a couple of chances. Fergal Reynolds' marker into Gilroy, started the attack, going by Jerry Flanagan, turning it back now, and Charlie Redmond to kick, and over it goes. Well, I think the point you made earlier that John O'Leary might well have opted to try and save that one was another case in point there.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. Again, a good Dublin move. Pat Gilroy gives the ball first, ends up giving the ball back out to Charlie. Again, Martin McHugh a bit small for balls like that. John O'Leary certainly would prevent a point in a circumstances like that.
Down injured here is Jack Sheedy. Jack, member of the Garda Force, now 31 years of age, still waiting for that elusive first All-Ireland medal. But the Pat Duggan attending to him, and Dr. Pat O'Neill, of course, the manager as well, so he's well catered for from a medical point of view. Jack's back on his feet again. This was always going to be a difficult assignment for Dublin in one respect, and that everybody expected them to win, and win quite handsomely. 10 minutes to go to half-time. That's Pat Donoghue, might have pushed initially. Mickey Quinn, back to Pádraig Kenny. Kenny trying to get inside. The referee following the play the whole time. Spotting the foul. Paul Clark certainly got a touch on him. So here's a chance for Leitrim then to close. He was disappointed when Sligo lost so heavily to Kerry in the 1975 final. And Aidan Rooney getting his second point here. First from a free. Pat Donoghue, he's enjoyed a good deal of possession. Nicely down, good ball towards George Dugdale, bounced unkindly for him, and it's Kieran Walsh reading the situation so well, fouled, held around the head. Paul Clark, free taker. Plenty of bundling in there. It's Declan Darcy who has it. Darcy, the Leitrim team captain, to Noel Moran. Colin McGlynn now, trying to sell dummies. Still McGlynn. Gave too much of that to Jack Sheedy. It reaches Vinnie Murphy, who's having trouble just holding the pass. And that'll be a Leitrim ball.
Colin McGlynn would want to make up his mind what he's going to do with these. He's going on solo runs and then getting caught with the ball.
Dermot Deasy. Now Niall Guyden. Final link force between half-back and the inside forward line. And again it's Seamus Quinn, playing his heart out. What a match he's played. Tripped over the legs of Vinnie Murphy as he was going out that time in an accidental clash, I thought. The referee has pointed to Vinnie and says, I saw it. Seamus Quinn still down on the ground. This young man is worried.
Seamus Quinn having an exceptional game for Leitrim there at full back. He's
got a good glimpse there of Fran Ryder. Declan Darcy driven into the inside forward line. Fisted away, but only as far as Colin McGlynn. Now Aidan Rooney. Rooney against Paddy Moran. Mickey Quinn kicking. How he'd love to score here in Croke. For the last Dublin team to win an All-Ireland back in 1983. Pat Gilroy. Paul Clark fisting it forward to Brian Steins. Steins watching Clark, motoring ahead still. Led Dublin to minor All-Ireland success in 1984. And that one's gone outside. And that's a 9. A run by Mickey Quinn. And he missed one just a few minutes ago, and I'm sure he wants to make up for it. Back to Pat Donoghue. Inside towards George Dugdale. Pushed by Kieran Walsh. Leitrim get the free kick. Aidan Rooney just inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. It spills out and it's belted clear by Paddy Moran. Back to Pat Donoghue. Seeing a lot of the action. Pádraig Kenny has come more and more into it as the half has progressed. Declan Darcy's just to his left-hand side. He's located him. Darcy inside the 45-metre line. Dermot Deasy coming out. There was a double hop and it's going to be a free. Dublin having to restructure their backline, clearly upset by the Leitrim attackers switching around, making life a bit awkward. Charlie Redmond, nice ball inside to Dessie Farrell. And he's got support there. Back to McGalvin, the dummy. High up into the air, Vinnie Murphy coming to try and take. Fisted down, but only as far as Charlie Redmond denied brilliantly. And once again it's Seamus Quinn who gets across to deny a near certain goal for Dublin. Niall Guyden back to Dessie Farrell. And that's gone over the bar.
That's illegal. Should have been a penalty there to Dublin.
So Leitrim get a let off. They also get a free kick themselves, 65 metres out from the Dublin goal. Aidan Rooney. Corey Kenny. Held up well over there. Back again towards Kenny from Jerry Flanagan, from Noel Boland. Free kick to Leitrim. Paul Clark.
A lot of trouble because the Dublin team have a chance to funnel back.
So Paul Kieran, the free taker, in front of an attendance of 52,600. And he's found the range. Coming close to half-time. Vinnie Murphy, certainly one of those causing problems. Brian Steins. Pat Donoghue matched the run. Back to Vinnie Murphy again. Inside towards Mick Galvin. And this time it's a free kick to Dublin. A foul by Seamus Quinn. It's taken very quickly in as far as Pat Gilroy. Pat Donoghue against Brian Steins. Donoghue fielding brilliantly. Great catch to Mickey Quinn. Well, that was a wonderful catch by Pat Donoghue, who's had some glorious moments during this first half. Jerry Flanagan now back on this left-hand side once again. Corey Kenny. Shouldered. Oh, the linesman on the near side has the flag up. Willie O'Mahony from Limerick. And Porrick having a quick look at him. His legs were certainly out. Whether the whole of the ball was or not, that's another matter.
A stupid ball there, anyway, putting Corey Kenny in trouble. No room for movement.
Noel Moran misjudges. It reaches Charlie Redmond. Seamus Quinn coming out. Vinnie Murphy jumping, catching securely, needing support, getting it from Desi Farrell, a man loose outside him. Mick Galvin, chance of his first point. And yes, just inside the right-hand post. Match now into injury time. Mickey Quinn. Nicely taken down. Corey Kenny. Back forward towards George Dugdale. Paul Kieran picks up. Drop deep. Liam Conlon watching it. So too John O'Leary. Dermot Deasy. Now Porrick Moran taking it out. Had a few worrying moments against Meath. Played well today. McGalvin inside to Niall Guyden. And this is the free-moving Dublin attack that we've all come to admire over the last few years. McDeegan into Galvin. And that's buried! And that's a brilliant goal! That was a wonderful score.
Keegan following in, and I think he's after getting goal of the year.
It certainly was a wonderful goal, and Tommy Suger says that's where we'll take a break. But what a time to get a goal, psychologically so important for Dublin, so shattering for Leitrim. Have the resolve and the players to come back. Half-time.
The ball here. If you just watch, when he turns around here and faces it across, I think it's a throw really. It's a throw, and it should have been just allowed centre forward.
Well, the second half is underway here in this Bank of Ireland Championship semi-final. Who'll face down in 4 weeks' time. Popular fancy, of course, is very definitely Dublin, but Donoghue had such a good first half. Gathered here by Dermot Deasy. Paul Clark. Jack Sheedy has started the second half at right half forward. Good run forward by Brian Steins. Desi Farrell having some work to do. Wasn't the greatest of passes down there, but it's won by Brian Steins. Steins trying to go by Johnnyman, and that's gone over the bar. Good start to the second half by the Dubs. Brian Steins picking up his first point.
Well, this is where Brian Steins is always very dangerous, always well able to get forward, and comes in again, does the sensible thing, punches the ball over the bar.
So Leitrim, having made one change already, may well be about to make another one. Jason Ward is being prepared across on the far side. As we watch Colin McGlynn. Leitrim need quick response. McGlynn provides it. So that's 3 points now for Leitrim from play out of their tally of 6, and it's 286 points.
Colin McGlynn has been finding it easy to get possession, and I say all of Leitrim would wish that he just...
Breeny's known as, rather than Brian, from Shauna Heslins, which is Ballinamore. Free kick to Dublin. Pat Gilroy from St Vincent's. Down towards Mick Galvin. Finished so prominently. He's lost the left boot. But ball transferred inside towards Keith Barr. They really were converging on him. And strong man that he is. He looks to be in a bit of agony in there. They really converged on the Dublin number 6. Mickey Quinn still on the ground. All of which gives the free to Charlie Redmond. We've seen plenty of proof in the Leinster Championship this year that you can't afford to concede frees from about 40 metres out with Charlie around. And that's now a goal and 4. Pat Donoghue being the better of that duel with Brian Steins. Mickey Quinn leaving it to Vinnie Murphy. Constantly a source of concern for the Leitrim half-backs. Desi Farrell getting the better of Joe Honeyman. Back to Brian Steins. Out to Paul Clark. Ambitiously transferred across towards Keith Barr. In spite of the knocks, he's prepared to come forward at every opportunity to Mick Galvin. Should be the goalkeepers. Martin McHugh playing in his 5th championship match. Right back to Desi Farrell once again. So the pressure remaining on the Leitrim backs. Enterprising ball to Pat Gilroy from Keith Barr. Nicely into Charlie Redmond. And Redmond punishes against Brian Steins. Continuing to go forward. Back to Liam Conlon. Paul Kieran in there, but it's Dermot Deasy, so assured at full back. Back to McDeegan, and now Paul Clark. Again, Vinnie Murphy breaking that one down. Noel Moran thought about a pass back to Seamus Quinn. He's got support with Jerry Flanagan outside. Turning inside. Around Charlie Redmond. Finding Barney Breen. First chance to shine in this match. Good ball through the centre towards Paul Kieran. Kieran now playing, it seems, a full forward. McDeegan operating at a right half back. Vinnie Murphy just about playing anywhere. Taking Declan Darcy out of position. And reducing the... It's Joe Reynolds, along with Ollie Honeyman, of course. 3 wise men of Leitrim football. It goes straight back to the Dubs. Many Leitrim people in the background there up on the new Cusack stand, still taking wonderful shape. Broken again by Vinnie Murphy, and this time the Leitrim players around Declan Darcy are aware of that. Mickey Quinn through the centre towards Colin McGlynn, picked up by Paddy Moran with some difficulty, tripped. And then McDeegan nips in, wins that one. Out to Brian Steins, it's a clip in the face for his troubles. Nicely across there. And once again, Mick Galvin trying to forage, trying to get out ahead of the full-back this time, trying to take him out of the area of the field where he is so effective in front of his own posts. And that was Charlie Redmond running in there and conceding the free kick. Pat Donoghue. Donoghue will need to look up. Colin McGlynn calling for it. This is where they need some certainty from him. He needs to release it, does so. As far as Barney Breen. And the point is on. And Barney Breen's got it. His first.
Barney Breen getting a very good point. Leitrim are going to continue to fight, even though it does look as a contest is over, but Leitrim won't certainly lie down.
And certainly I think the Leitrim people have travelled here in huge numbers, wherever they've come from, I don't know. It's supposed to be a county with a population of 25,000, but they're supported by much more than that here at Croke Park this afternoon. I think they'll stay to the finish. Jack Sheedy tripped by Jerry Flanagan. This time for his troubles. Referee has the notebook out, and he becomes the first Leitrim player to have the name taken.
I think that kick out from John O'Leary says a lot about the game. Dublin have just so many big players to aim all these kick outs at. The far more physical size than
huge kick by Keith Barr into Charlie Redmond, and wonderful block down by Fergal Reynolds. Comes back from Mick Galvin to Niall Guyden, and that sails over the bar. Kicked out by Keith Barr there, ball touched on the ground. Brian Steins. Declan Darcy taking it quickly. Cross towards Liam Conlon, has yet to score. There's a chance to put that right. Making headway with some purpose inside to Barney Breen. Pádraig Kenny going for the goal, blocked down by Keith Barr, comes to Dermot Deasy, and the siege lifted once again, or just about, with the aid of John O'Leary. Well, Barr was perfectly positioned that time to deny Leitrim. And now it's Paddy Moran. Mick Galvin trying to make it his against Seamus Quinn, despairingly, and runs outside somewhat to Niall Guyden. Ooh, good low shot. McHugh to be down very quickly, and Leitrim showing a lot of uncertainty back there. Declan Darcy. There's a Dublin player on the ground as we watch Jerry Flanagan. Charlie Redmond picking himself up gingerly in front of the Leitrim goal. It's Mick Deegan coming forward, 45 metres out from the posts, to Niall Guyden. That point he scored has done his confidence a lot of good. In towards Vinnie Murphy, broken to himself. Taken back to Niall Guyden, beating the challengers. And there it's Joe Honeyman, brother of Ollie, who's a selector, to Mickey Quinn. From a great sporting family. Pat Donoghue. There's another Dublin player on the deck, down at the far end of the field. Liam Conlon against Kieran Walsh. It was going too far away from goal. Here he played in a 40th championship match, or 50th championship match, when he played in the All-Ireland final in 1992. Chances that it'll be a 60th championship match when he plays in the final, if things go according to plan for Dublin in 4 weeks' time. Paul Clark, tackle from behind. And Dublin just about to make a change. And
Jerry there a few minutes ago, I think that's the reason why he's gone off.
So Beelan in for Galvin. Charlie Redmond breaking that one down towards Brian Steins, picks the ball up himself. Appeared to be fouled as he was in the act of picking the ball up. Referee says play on. Out it comes towards Jason Ward. To Barney Breen, the two second-half substitutes for Leitrim on their first ever championship outing in Croke Park. Aidan Rooney holding up the point of the attack. Leitrim with 7 points so far. Jason Ward. That ball comes back to Noel Moran. Remember his point from play in the first half. Nicely outside to Ward again. There's a scoring chance here. And he missed.
Over the bar would have done quite nicely there.
Paul Clark just getting there ahead of Pádraig Kenny. Seamus Quinn winning that battle there against Paul Beelan, playing in the unaccustomed position of full forward for him. Normally we'd expect to see him play out around midfield, but Quinn has had a super match, just damaging his right leg. Declan Darcy taken by the other number 6, Keith Barr. To get away from the attentions of Barney Breen. Desi Farrell winning the race for possession with Joe Honeyman. Back to Charlie Redmond. Trying to open it up in the centre here. Paul Beelan transferred to Niall Guyden as a player in an overlap here. It's Jack Sheedy. Sheedy back for Guyden. Fisting. He's put it over the bar. And as I said a little earlier, it was the father of Michael O'Hare, who's here enjoying this match, who was the team trainer that year. Niall Guyden. Back to Pat Gilroy. Beelan. That's a fine kick. Right onto the top of the crossbar and over.
He'll be looking to get his pace for the final.
In fact, of the Dublin forward line right now, only Jack Sheedy has yet to score, and there's still time. I make it about 16 minutes, or maybe just a little less still to go. Barney Breen, he was big held by Keith Barr. So Barney are having the option of kicking it from the ground, off of the hands. He used to be the free taker, of course, Barney Breen, trying to get over the outstretched hands there of Keith Barr. Good deep one inside towards Jason Ward, flicked on to John O'Leary, however, playing in his 7th All-Ireland football semi-final. Paul Clark, and the trapdoor opening just ahead of him. Clark on towards Charlie Redmond. Leitrim at 6s and 7s back there, but there was some pushing, and that's going to be a free out. Vinnie Murphy there, and Fergal Reynolds. Charlie Redmond stepping in to be the peacemaker. There hasn't really been any animosity in this particular game. There's no needle between the teams. There's a good competitive edge to it, and Leitrim want to do themselves justice, and Dublin just want to get by this test and into the final. Declan Darcy getting support from Pat Donoghue, just leaving it behind, then nipping in to trip Paul Beelan. Free taken very quickly down to Brian Steins. Not quite an exhibition finish. Still in play. Seamus Quinn, pursued by Vinnie Murphy, of vain pursuit, showing he is more than capable of living in this particular company. Charlie Redmond going back to rescue, taking it, belted down towards Pat Gilroy. Back there is the commanding figure of Declan Darcy, who's had a better second half. Jerry Flanagan. Mickey Quinn. Dublin so good at closing down Leitrim players when they come out from their own backline. So accurate passing into the forwards has been difficult. Paul Clark. This time it's Barney Breen. Scoring chance here. Nicely outside. And it's in! Colin McGlynn, the goal scorer. Leitrim's first goal in a championship match at Croke Park comes 19 minutes into the second half. And it's Colin McGlynn who scores it from Alan Gales in Drumshambo.
Well, if Leitrim could get another couple of these, certainly make a game, but Paul Clark maybe foul. Barney Breen does well and puts Colin McGlynn down. He does exactly the right thing, puts it low in.
So now is there another? Pat Gilroy saying enough of that, now it's our turn to do a bit more counter-attacking. Paul Beelan back towards Jack Sheedy. Belted across, but Guidon has a bit of work to do. Peels there from Noel Moran as well. Intense faces. Paddy Moran and Aidan Rooney, the two players involved here. Paddy Russell, the linesman from Tipperary. Charlie Redmond. Poor marking there to give Brian Steins the chance. Pat Donoghue was back initially minding the house, then closed him down rather late. Take it in there. And once again, Paul Beelan looking for assistance. Vinnie Murphy looking for space, but that's going to be a kick out. Referee
Declan Darcy up the field because he hasn't had one of his better games at centre-back, and they need scores at this stage.
And he's got experience of playing in the forwards as well. He plays for his club there. Dessie Farrell now trying to finish this attack with a score. And that creeping inside the right-hand post.
Off his right foot.
It's fisted on by Mickey Quinn, but nobody waiting for it there except Mick Deegan. Out towards Jack Sheedy. Oops, bundle in the back for his troubles. Referee says play on. Paul Clark has it. In towards Paul Beelan. And the falling body of Paul Beelan winning the free kick. Eddie Murphy's had a very solid match all through. Jerry Flanagan with a smile on the face still, I think, having enjoyed the experience. So Charlie Redmond on the 45-metre line or thereabouts. The side leading by 2:14 to 1:7. Dropped in deep. Again, it's the fullback Seamus Quinn. Jason Ward. Keith Barr. Good catch. Back to Dermot Deasy. Steady, unspectacular display by Deasy, but just as I say it, the distribution wasn't of the highest order. Noel Moran to kick this one in towards Colin McGlynn. Broken, but the broken play picked up by Keith Barr. Brian Steins now. Jerry Flanagan challenging, winning it against Jack Sheedy. And Jerry Flanagan keen for the fray here, anxious to do well. And again, poor clearance from that free. Dermot Deasy back to Brian Steins again. Aidan Rooney having to give chase. The kick into space, and there's always a Dublin forward off the mark quickly. Dessie Farrell's had a very good game, as Colin O'Rourke was saying. This time, he holds on too long. Tenacious defending by Joe Honeyman.
Yes, he was waiting for Charlie to come and take it off, and Charlie has done that on several occasions today. Looped around outside him and taken the ball off him.
Dermot Deasy. Jack Sheedy. Hasn't had the greatest of seasons so far, Jack Sheedy. Charlie Redmond. Sheedy's ahead of him. There's a great scoring chance. Just overhit, and that was enough for Noel Moran to locate Joe Honeyman. Pat Donoghue. Threaded up there towards Liam Conlon. Takes a few steps, too many, gets away with it. Corey Kenny. Ball forward towards Declan Darcy, who's popped up in the attack for once, and Paul Beelan is back there, tracking him the whole time. Injured, but Kieran Walsh has it. And Dublin are away once again. 10 minutes to go now. Looking good for the Metropolitans. Oh, that's in to Dessie Farrell, and here's the chance to finish it off. Dessie Farrell.
And Dessie Farrell able to hold off Joe Honeyman there. Again, like all the Dublin players, has the power, solos, takes his time and sticks it in the roof of the net.
It's been a brave try by Leitrim. No point in being condescending. They were rank outsiders. They did well for long periods of the first half. The goal before half-time, really a soccer blow, as John O'Mahony was saying. But they've had to give second best during the second half. And Dublin just considering a switch across on that far side. Always a useful time to warm up a player, and the player coming in, Liam Walsh, who's 21 years of age. From the Thomas Davis Club in Cala. Kieran Walsh, I think, is the player who's making way from St Anne's. So a chance then for Liam Walsh to enjoy championship fare. With about 8 minutes left as Aidan Rooney kicks this free from outside the 45-metre line. They'll be hoping to fist it in there somehow. But Dermot Deasy has done really well, withstanding the pressure. But again, that clearance wasn't the best. And Liam Conlon has it, and straight away fouled by Liam Walsh. Them out in the fairly certain knowledge that they are through to a final meeting with Down, first ever All-Ireland final between the two. Tommy Carr there away in the background in that dugout. Good kick by Aidan Rooney. His partner Tommy Carr. Well, you wonder when Tommy comes in. He's coming in place of Jack Sheedy, who was out of sorts today. And Tommy can play, of course, just about anywhere, and has. Fergal Reynolds, the player who went off him for Leitrim. Good ball from Paul Beelan towards Charlie Redmond. Redmond attracting attention instantly. This time the referee says, not overholding, free and instead to Dublin. Well, Tommy has played corner back, he's played, of course, in the half-back line, he's played in the forwards.
Pretty keen. And also put a bit of pressure on the players in possession.
Charlie judging it to a tee. Once in the second half. Leitrim wide just once, so a fair amount of accuracy. Dublin particularly sharp in front of goal. Dessie Farrell, who got that third goal. Nicely back into Paul Beelan. It looks like going left, just about. And there's some despondent faces on the Leitrim dugout, but they've done well to get to this stage. Ollie Honeyman trying to urge them on. So just 5 minutes left. Colin McGlynn scored one of the goals here, the Leitrim goal. Donoghue touching it down, but it's Brian Stein's Australian rule style picking it up. He had 5 years in that code with Melbourne, losing it to Pat Donoghue. He's played steadily all through this match. He's been outstanding at times. Jason Ward, Liam Conlon, nicely for Declan Darcy, trying to engineer another goal-scoring chance perhaps. He'd be content with a point, and he ends up getting nothing. John O'Leary varying at this time, and it's Paul Clark. They're trying to give it away from Pat Donoghue in particular. It's caused problems in the air for them. Towards Dessie Farrell, very much on his game today, very sharp. And Charlie Redmond. It's been talk that he's thinking about finishing his career at the top. He's still got an awful lot to contribute. Likewise, Vinnie Murphy. That's broken down for Jason Ward to come on to. Our brother, it's Brian Dignan. Here's Colin McGlynn. He's pushing Dermot Deasy out of his way. The outside of the boot. Attempt to be fanciful, but in the end it is Paddy Moran. Down to Tommy Carr. Chance for him to get in possession. Big roar from the hill as he does so. Down to Paul Clark. Everything has been saluted at this stage by joyous Dublin fans. Maybe not that last pass. Colin, a word about Leitrim today, part of a learning process, a very small county, tiny population, and yet they've done well to get this far.
Well, the achievement of winning the Connacht Championship for a county like that has been fantastic, and I suppose the difference between the standard of football that they have been used to and what is in Leinster is fairly reflected here. The game is faster, the players are stronger, probably fitter as well. And without being condescending to Connacht football, there is a bit of a gulf there, and it's very evident here today. But Leitrim have fought hard, and they certainly haven't given up. Some teams from Connacht in the past have come to Croke Park, and the players have dropped their heads and stopped trying, but you can't say that about Leitrim.
Yeah, they never died, that's for sure. Niall Guidan. Partly blocked that time by Brian Dignan. Now Jerry Flanagan. When they reflect in the dark days of winter, they'll be thinking back, Leitrim, of that marvellous win in the Connacht Championship, beating Roscommon, Galway, Mayo. What a win that was. And then coming here for the very first time. No mean achievement. Into Colin McGlynn again. Barney Breen is to his right, a support to his left as well. He was going for glory. It's John O'Leary.
Certainly Colin McGlynn could have done a good bit more with the possession he got today. There's several times he could have put Leitrim players in for scores and just held on too long.
So another promising build-up here. Once again, it's Brian Dykeman. The player who was fouled was Jason Ward. So Leitrim just considering what they're going to do with this. Aidan Rooney, the free taker. Leitrim with a goal and 8 points on the board so far, as Noel Moran, I think that is, came into the match with a knee injury. He's taking his point, the 4th point for Aidan Rooney, and Dublin are emphatic winners against gallant champions from the West. It'll be Dublin versus Down in 4 weeks' time. What a final we're looking forward to there. Charlie Redmond today contributed a goal and 6 points. His goal 15 minutes into the first half. The killer blow, I suppose, for Leitrim was the goal by Mick Galvin, 2 minutes into injury time in that half, and then Desi Farrell with 10 minutes to go fairly wrapped it up. A super goal. It's a match we've enjoyed. There have been some very good displays, and Dublin go through. Goals and 15 points. Leitrim 1 goal and 9.